Cornucopias is a cutting-edge open-world MMO set in a world where humanity has ascended from the Earth's surface and created a breathtaking new world in the sky. This fantastical realm is a system of floating islands carved from the land we once called home, now encased in radically advanced dome-shaped structures suspended high above the clouds. Each one is a futuristic marvel with its own unique environment, identity, and thriving communities. It is within these domes the epic journey begins. Here, players take control of their own personal avatar, which gives them the freedom to choose their destiny. Be immersed in vast landscapes, explore vibrant settlements, and engage in a myriad of activities such as crafting, commerce, combat, racing, and more. Welcome to a world where the sky is no longer the limit.
Well, hey everyone, welcome to COPICafe. This is episode 113. Don't be a turkey. Rob, how you doing today? You got Rob, Greg, Josh Jones here, and we obviously have some special hats on. Why do we have special hats on?
Some American thing.
Yeah, it is. This week is Thanksgiving week. In fact, right after we shoot this episode, I've got to hurry up and pack and drive to Dallas to see some family. It is a special holiday, and I really like it just because it's about being grateful for what you have and looking at the positive in your life. I think often many of us tend to we dwell on the problems, what the problems are, and I like to make it a good pattern to be grateful throughout my life. Try to do it every day. What can I be grateful for? And so we celebrate Thanksgiving often, many of us, by having turkey dinners, which is, I guess we got a before and after thing here going. You've got the full turkey there. I got the cooked turkey. I'm a cooked turkey apparently. But yeah, so it is a good holiday that reminds us to be grateful. We have a great job. We have a great business working relationship, you and I as co-CEOs. I'm grateful for that. Look at this turkey head going up and down. That's great. I guarantee you practiced that beforehand. You're like, no. We have a great team. Our co-founders, Ant and Jeff, our directors. We're in a cool phase where the market is turning around. There's a lot to be grateful for. So yeah, that's why we're wearing these hats. But I do believe mine's getting pretty hot already. How long do you want to wear them?
Yeah, mine's too hot as well.
Okay. So we'll move into our regular attire. Here we go. Okay. So Rob, what are you drinking?
Well, I need this because my voice is going a little bit. I am drinking a good old healthy
Coca-Cola original taste.
Yep, with a little Santa's on it.
Oh, nice! Little Christmas marketing from the largest distributor of sugar.
Yeah, I think Coca-Cola actually invented the red and white of Christmas, didn't they?
Well, that would be interesting. I don't know.
I think they did with the Santa suit. I think they started the marketing and then everybody started. Santa's was red and white.
I'm having a bubbly.
Jubbly bubbly.
I think I had a bubbly last week. Uh-oh. All right. Well, we got some fun topics ahead for you guys. The Juggernaut sale recap, buybacks, new marketplace planning, some general market thoughts and questions in a leak. So I guess let's just go ahead and kick it off. The Juggernaut sale, how did you think it went?
Can't be then when I'm drinking. Yeah, I thought it went really well. We sold out fairly quickly on Cardano, as we'd expect to, because that's our home chain, and that's where we've done the majority of our, most of our community are on there. And we had a good chunk of sales as well on base. That's obvious that we need to expand our player base there and do some more outreach there. But yeah, I thought it went really well. It's been received really well. What do you think of it?
I thought it went very well. It was fun to prepare for because it was a new big asset. So putting together the deck and the specifics around it, it put a lot of pressure on the team.
And that video was fire.
Huh?
The video was amazing.
The video, I loved the video. Matt said he really struggled. They struggled finding the right music to go along with it. And then when they landed on the one that we finally chose, they decided, since it was a little more low key, less intense feel, to add in the sound effects of the Atmos. So that was pretty cool, adding in some of those sound effects. I don't know if those are going to be actual in-game sound effects or not, but
yeah, I think it showed a bit of the new hangar that's coming as well.
Yeah,
in the next build, and also a hint of some of the crowd and the AI NPCs, which may appear as well in the next build. So there's quite a lot.
It did, and this is one of our most limited assets that we've ever sold, and it's also got the 5 different rarities. So there's still some. If you haven't picked one up, there's still some available on base. It's not a ton left, but there's some left, and yeah, you when you go mint on the base platform on our marketplace page, and then you'll determine about 5 minutes later what rarity it is that you received. So yeah, definitely people getting some pretty rare assets here. I know that one mythic already sold for 5,500 ADA.
Nice.
I saw that the other day.
Store.
Yeah,
we updated the Copy Wiki. So if you have a look at that copywiki.cornucopias.io, you'll be able to see all the NFTs on there with their images and the policy IDs and links to the secondaries, JPEG store, and on Magic Eden, is it?
Yep.
All of those, yeah, all on there as well. So check all that out.
Yeah, definitely feel free to. And if you haven't seen the Copy Wiki before, Rob, the team, ton of work has gone into that to keep it updated, maintained. There's a lot of information there. It's almost overwhelming if you're new, but you could just discover so much, which is really cool. So definitely check that out. It's in the footer of our website. Just go to our website, click on the Copy Wiki link in the footer. You've done an excellent job of keeping that up to date. For the most part, I believe. And yeah, it's a great resource for you guys, our community, etc. But anyway, the Atmos, I think it did great. It was a fun sale to make all the pieces come together. David and the art team did a remarkable job of making a really cool asset with great utility, huge utility in the game. All the details of the Atmos are in our Discord on a deck that we published that basically shows you some pictures and the stats on the vehicle. The utility tells a little bit of the lore. So go check that out and go grab one on base if you are interested. That brings us to our next topic, which is the buybacks. And I think you had a question. Yeah.
This question, I was hoping you'd talk a bit faster than you did, was landed exactly 24 hours ago to the second. This is from Faux Hubris of the Knights. He wants to know, now that we've had all 4 phases of the sale, can you update us on the 20% buyback and whether or not it's going to be a gradual buyback over months, or does it happen at the time of sale?
Yeah, so great question. By the time of this video going live, the final buyback from all the way up to the Juggernaut will have occurred. And the buybacks are liquidity and also Copy. So some of the buyback goes towards liquidity. Some of it goes towards buying Kopi. I believe the totals are 77K total, of which 38,500 worth of Kopi will have been bought by the time of this video. So going live. So pretty cool. It's a cool tool to keep the economy circular, to keep everything moving around. Well, it allows us to refill different rewards areas, or whatever it may be. So it's a great way to utilize the token in our ecosystem. So it will not always be a 20% buyback. That was for the phases of this sale, of which I think there's one more. There are a few more assets going up pretty soon that will be eligible for the 20% that we had mentioned. And then in the future, it'll be 10%, which was what was published in our utility and tokenomics paper. So good stuff. Great question. Next up, we have the new marketplace planning. So, well, Rob, you and I were very involved with the original marketplace that was built. That was a large undertaking. You remember back in the days when we were building it. Thankfully, we were already building it before we worked with Derp Birds. Those guys are great friends of ours. But we had built it around a market time that things were significantly different. We were in a very bullish time. The market had gone bearish, but we still had a lot of liquidity in the market in crypto, and NFTs were pretty hot at that time as well. And so our sales would sell out in 30 seconds. And Dirtbirds had trouble with their tech when we used it, just because of the high demand all instantaneously. We just had all sorts of issues. It was just an interesting challenge to try to resolve. And they did great for us on one sale. And then the next sale there were just some issues. But so we then resorted to our marketplace, which had been being built and designed to handle high volume, thankfully. But that marketplace is so different from what we need now, because now we have a game. We have assets that can be used right away, and we have multiple assets that can be used in game. So it's significantly different. We used to just do one-off sales. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. It's been an evolution. Yeah, well, when we started that was 3 years ago, and now it's fully integrated. There's still quite a bit more to do, because now we didn't know what we didn't know back then day, and we know a little bit more now. So for a good example is how we're dividing the elements on the characters. So the characters can now have hats or helmets, they can have bodysuits, and they can have shoes or things that you wear along your feet. So when we're doing outfits, we're now potentially either selling them as individual items, which will work well, but you have kind of like this strange delay at the moment with our marketplace. That's what we need to bring the new components in. But then we also want to sell outfits where we either sell one outfit and then we distribute, if it's a bundle, 3 at the same time, and then they'll have to be integrated with our marketplace. So we've still got to put into the kind of like the final pieces of all this together, while at the same time we're also working on the website for the land grab, because they're all related, and the same resources really working on all of them. It's kind of prioritizing and fitting them in, and you kind of they have to work together because they all share databases and player accounts. So it is quite complex, but we are getting there.
Yeah, and I would add to that, there was other things. That's a great point. Completely agree. The shopping cart, we didn't need a shopping cart in the beginning because we only sold one asset at a time. That didn't make any sense to develop for something that wasn't coming until quite a bit later. But now we really need a more efficient process for checkout. So we're looking into solutions there. And furthermore, we have this COPI utility paper that we published, where we want to be receiving COPI for in-game assets. And, that's a big difference. Now, granted, we did accept COPI in this last sale, of course, which is great. But all of these things need to be brought into a new system and working together, which means rethinking the whole way that it's done. And so we're in that planning process, working with Philip, our economist, on making sure everything that we're iterating on is best practices for economy, which is huge, because that's incredibly important to have that wisdom in something that, we don't have the level of experience that he has. So he brings so much to the table there. We got a call with him today on it. I think I'm excited to, I'm really putting pressure on the team, as you know, to get the marketplace really to a better state, for more of an efficient user experience, and working well, clean, and seamless, like we like to do everything. And we're all working hard to get that figured out. So we will.
When we went multi-chain, that added a whole other element to it as well. And then we're also looking at integrating behind the scene wallets for those that don't have a wallet. So there really is a lot going on. It's hard to really, understand the complexity.
I'm glad you brought those up, because that's two other valid points that we've had to consider is, bringing in the mainstream gamers that don't really know how to mess with crypto wallets. Well, we have to create a system where we're creating a wallet for them, and making that incredibly seamless. And instead of them writing down a 24-word or a 12-word seed phrase, they just write down an authentication code of some sort, or use their email, or whatever it may be. More traditional systems, because it's not like you're locking up multi-million dollars worth of crypto or multi-$1,000s worth of crypto or whatever. It's, well, who knows what people are using, but you have the option to always add your own custom wallet, as you already do. So we have to have that. But then for the mainstream gamers, making it easy and seamless for them with a different kind of authentication is going to be a great solution to really onboard mainstream gamers and create that additional COPI utility by bringing them in. So exciting stuff to be planning. It is very, very challenging. A lot of moving parts. It's not as easy as just building out a marketplace in mainstream gaming or whatever. There's a lot of additional complexities. So we're hoping to get that to you guys as soon as possible. What else? We got market thoughts. What do you think about the market these days, Rob?
The general market? I mean, I'm looking forward to this time of year. We have a Christmas market near where I live. We have some German markets, some French ones. I'm looking forward to going to those, having some beers and sausages. But you probably mean the crypto market, do you?
Well, you could be. We go to farmers markets as well for vegetables here. So there's also a grocery store called the City Market. But yeah, I'm talking about crypto. I'm talking about just overall what's going on in the industry. What are your thoughts on it? Then I'll comment.
Well, there seems to be a huge shift. I mean, I don't really want to get into politics or something, but American politics has definitely changed over the last few months, and it seems to bring a lot of positivity. I've heard of a few people that might want to try and escape from America. Now they think it's a good place, and now the UK seems to have a big arrow above its head. So who knows? Yeah, it's changed so quick.
Yeah, we're not making any political comments here at all. However, the new administration coming in definitely has the appearance of being a lot more pro crypto innovation in the US, which is a good thing for the market as a whole. So there might be greater legislation clarity for investors, for projects that are building, for whomever. And clarity always helps give a little bit more certainty. It's hard for somebody to get in the space when that has been so, and there's been an ongoing Ripple case with the SEC for like 4 years now or something like that. I believe that's probably going to get dropped. There's just some great news coming. Gary Gensler is stepping down. He's resigning from the SEC. So I think there's a lot of change that could be very beneficial for crypto. We might actually have regulatory tailwinds as opposed to headwinds, right in our face, pushing us back this whole time, making us have to structure things in a certain way to try to be compliant. So we've got a lot of great things happening in the market. And obviously you're seeing some pretty accelerated pricing with Bitcoin. Obviously this week we've had a dip, but I think it's doing incredibly well. Maybe part of that is due to the new administration knowing that there's more favor to crypto, but it's also probably significantly related to the global liquidity charts, the money supply that people have on hand. That bottomed out and is now turning around and starting to go back up. So the global liquidity cycle is definitely correlated to Bitcoin price overall. You can see that over history.
And I think the other shift that appears, what this is what I see is we're moving. It's I might not be correct in saying this, but the leaders appear to be moving away from kind of trained politicians to business people and kind of celebrities. So you've got Trump, you've got Elon Musk, Charles Hoskinson in there, industry leaders, as opposed to politicians where things kind of move a little bit slowly and they don't necessarily know the industries or what they just get put in different departments, don't they? And they kind of have people to advise them.
Yeah.
Whereas now it appears like there's people in place that want to do things differently. We'll say does. That whether it will make a difference, I don't know. But it appears
we'll see. I mean, because there's also resistance to any change that any new administration, left, right, whatever, would experience. And you're definitely right. Some of these people that are involved definitely want to bring a lot of change. And the question remains, do they follow up with what they do? What happens? How does crypto legislation really benefit from all of this? I guess we'll find out.
Time will tell. Time will tell.
Time will tell. Exactly. But okay. So one final point on the market. I think for many of you that are not familiar with Bitcoin dominance, it is an indicator. It's Bitcoin versus all the altcoins. It's a chart that indicates the amount of dominance, the amount of people in Bitcoin versus altcoins. And when that starts, it's kind of at a peak now, or it's started to come down a little bit, the Bitcoin dominance chart. When that starts to really fall quickly over a 3-month period, 4-month period or whatever, that is what starts off and kicks off the alt season. Because what that means is if Bitcoin dominance is coming down drastically, those people that were taking profits up here from their Bitcoin are now shifting. This is what we've learned from crypto over history into the altcoins, which will benefit Cardano, Base, projects that are on Cardano and Base. That just kind of carries down and people shift where they allocate their funds to. And that's an exciting time in crypto. And we, many of us already know that it appears that's where we're headed. So it seems like it's going to be a fun holidays and a fun 2025. So
it looks like, yeah. And for those that don't know, altcoin stands for alternative coin, and the alternative is just alternative to Bitcoin. So there's Bitcoin and there's everything else.
Yeah.
And the reason the dominance goes is because, the money moves from Bitcoin into the altcoin. So it's just a chart, goes up and down.
Yep. It's like a fountain, the fountains that it comes out at the top, that's Bitcoin. And then there's a small circle, and then that small circle fills up, and then it comes down to a bigger circle. That's kind of what's happening in a sense.
Chocolate fountains. Nice. Orange chocolate fountain.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. Well, I think that brings us up to our questions and leak for the day.
Okay.
So this is a question from Captain Optimistic, and judging by the size of this question, I'm just gonna ask for a summary, but we will show the question on screen. There's a lot there. That's a good read. So he's really clearly very passionate about the Juggernaut and wants to know a lot. Can you just summarize and try to answer some of his questions there about the Juggernaut?
Yeah, it's a long question and might take some answering. So, does a 1,000 SCU equal 1 FCU? Yeah, so 1,000 units, that's the kind of number of units all the different boxes and everything can fit inside the FCU. Can't remember what the F stands for, but the Juggernaut has 16 large containers, and that's what the FCU is. So each of those can hold 1,000 SCUs, and the SCU is equal to 1 inventory slot. So if you've got something that takes up 8 slots, then that is 8 SCUs. Not explained that very well, but look at the deck.
No, it's good. Yeah.
There's another question about how many seats for other players does the Juggernaut have? Well, it has 8 seats. You can fly it on your own, so you don't need other people in there. You don't need co-pilots, wingmen, all the other people. You can do if you want to, but you don't. And then the rest of the questions, the blanket answer is probably not.
Okay. The rest of the questions is probably not, meaning can a player choose to exit mid-flight out of a back hatch via jetpack vehicle, or are we hostages until the pilot chooses to land? Probably not. Can we customize the ship at all to provide unique services? Probably not. Fuel pump to rescue players out of gas? Probably not. Sleeping quarters for players to regenerate energy? Probably not. However, we do, the primary purpose of this vehicle is shipping and moving resources from one location to another. It enables you to do that a lot more efficiently than you can with a bubble jet, for example. So there is great utility for this vehicle, and we will likely be adding some utility to it over time as well. It's not just going to always just stay the same. By the way, those are some great ideas. There's just only so much that we can do. There's a lot of work we're still building it.
Yep.
So you've seen the exterior, but this asset is still being built, and we'll deliver it in about, I'm not supposed to give any dates, but we're working on getting it to you as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So
what are the next few builds you'll have it?
Yeah. Okay. So great questions. I love the passion and the curiosity. That's a good quality to have. All right. Lord of the Corn, about the in-game NFT item use. Even though you own the NFT item like the Purple Fury, can someone else pick it up if dropped and have use of it in-game? Also, does the Nexus keep track of the in-game ownership if my item is picked up by another player?
Yeah, it's a good question. So there's different types of assets in game. There's those that you just will find as you're going around, and there's those that you actually have ownership of. So NFTs you have ownership of. So there's no transferring, there's no drop in. Somebody else can come and pick that up. That wouldn't make sense, because then we'd have to move things in wallets, and it would get out of hand and really crazy. So for that reason, you can't drop them. You can put like the Fury, like you said, in the Nexus, and you can store it there, and you can come back later and pick it up. However, there is a way of you giving these assets to other people in the future, and that will be some of the assets you will be able to give access to another player. So you will keep ownership of it. So like a kind of family and friends, and I know with some of the guild tools as well, you'll be able to say this particular asset. So it could be a Fury. Let that person play with it for as long as I want them to, or we might have rules that say you can have them for 7 days or 14 days. That's coming in the future. It's not available now, but when that is there, then yes, you will be able to temporarily give access, but not ownership, to other players. and those NFTs will still remain in your wallet. There's no smart contracts, nothing like that. You just literally just give it access to them, which will be a really, really cool system. However, when they have those, that means obviously you can't have access to them as well. So anything they do with them, let's say they're racing and they earn XP, all that will go to them.
Can you recall your asset?
You can.
So I've
yes,
given
yes,
it.
you have
I've let you
ownership
use
of it.
my Atmos, and I'm like, nope, Rob's had it for too long. I can recall it, or how's that work?
Yeah, you can do. And if it's items that, let's say, for example, you are renting to people, so maybe you're renting vehicles in the future, then if we have some kind of a terms that comes with that, I'm going to rent it to you for say 3 days or 7 days. Then no,
Then you've already agreed to that.
yeah, you'll agree to that. So you won't be able to grab it back.
You can't recall in
No.
that scenario.
However, it's in your wallet. So I mean, there's so many nuances of this. You can put it on the marketplace and sell it, and then you'll be in a whole heap of trouble. But we'll deal with all those issues in the future.
That is the most important thing that you could say there is that it remains in your wallet. It's just assigning the rights to use that asset to somebody else. The keys to the car that's in the game, so to speak. Okay, cool. Well, that answers that question, and we're now ready for our leak.
Oh, okay.
Which is a fun one.
I have 2 images for you today. Here is the first one. What do you think of that?
I love it. It's clearly a wood shop.
Yep.
You can, or yeah, I mean, that's what Matt said it was, but also you can obviously infer that from the 2x4s on the side there, the wood planks, and then there's some shorter ones over on the right side. This is pretty awesome looking. Looks like a ventilation system for, if things are getting hot or, the air's getting dirty, whatever it may be. Like if you've ever been in a wood shop, there is a lot of sawdust roaming around the air, and so you need ventilation from that fine powder of the power machines that are cutting things up. This is awesome. I love it.
Yep. I think this will be. We're going to say this is going to be on your land. I think this is something you'll be able to have on your land. Come back to you on that one.
It would be if you select that type of, and if you wanted that on your land as opposed to a house or whatever. I don't know if there's going to be zones where some allow for wood shops in, if they can go everywhere or not. We need to discuss that for sure.
Yeah, we need to check out what David is. But yeah, you'll have to have a house on your property. Yeah, and that's another look at it. I mean, this is a massive thing, so I don't know what the way the wood shops and all the other buildings work is there is different levels to them. So you start off with kind of like a little workbench, which might be the size of a PC desk, and then you work your way up to kind of this industrial size here by doing all kinds of crafting and all good stuff. But there's a lot going on with that. There's no color to it yet. This is how it kind of comes out of the art before it has any textures and anything to it, and it is still work in progress. I really like the little cables as well. Just the attention to detail there is pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, the hook cable. Yeah, that's great.
And the cables are above, above the top of the openings. Yep. Pretty crazy. Very, very industrial. Very cool.
Yeah, completely agree. I love it. That's a fun leak. Can't wait to see that in game. And it might be a way for before you guys have those on your hands for there to be a cornucopias wood shop, for example, where you can go process the trees that you've chopped down or something like that and get your lumber or whatever. It might be something like that. Yep. We don't fully have that laid out. Well, we have a good amount of that laid out in plans, but yeah, it's not.
We'll explain it. Well, as we have the details, you guys will be the second to know.
Alrighty. Well, it's been a great episode. Hopefully,
we'll go back to
all of you guys and gals watching have plenty you feel you can be grateful for I know I do. You guys, this business, my wife, my family, my friends, all of these things. I just, yeah, it's good. It's a good time of year. We'll see you next time.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.
Don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. I'm in a game.